Welcome to the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters 2007. We're at the Metrodome in Barnsley in the north of England for this unique event, single lane, head-to-head, 16 of the world's top men and women in this, the 10th year of the contest. This is round one. We've already seen Chris Barnes, the defending champion, going through, the American beating England's Zara Glover 5-24 to 4-1-6. Each match played over 2 games, the player with the higher aggregate of points going through. Now here's your host, Lisa Marie Long.
16 of the world's top players are here at the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters to see who can take the pressure and win that $30,000 first prize. In round one, it's a knockout to see who will make it through to the quarterfinals. Let's see who the players are tonight.
Hi, I'm Kaminsky from South Africa, and I'll be playing Osku-1 from Finland.
Hello, I'm Osku-1 from Finland, and I'm on here for the first time.
Well, obviously, I've got huge admiration for Osku. Got a list of titles to his name.
It's going to be 50-50 because he's a good bowler. Of course, we all are who are here, and the fact that he's a good buddy, that's going to make it tough.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to play against a good friend, but obviously just got to focus on my game and just hope the pins go my way.
Time to join your Master of Ceremonies, John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Metrodome here in Barnsley. It is the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters, brought to you by Matchroom Sport. 16 of the very best players in the world have assembled here on this single lane to lift the coveted prize of $30,000. Well, let's meet 2 more players then. Firstly, would you please welcome, all the way from Finland, he is the World Bowling Writers Bowler of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Osku-1.
Osku is still only 23. He's actually ambidextrous, so he can bowl left or right-handed. A winner of the US Open back in 2004, the Finn was a World Cup winner last year, making his debut in the World 10-Pin Masters.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Durban, South Africa, and the captain of Team South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Kaminsky.
Guy is a veteran of the sport. At the age of 29, he's picked up titles all over the world, including gold medals in the Maccabi Games. He also made the televised final stages of the AMF World Cup. He actually runs a bowling centre. So match 2 of the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters coming up. Your commentators Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
We're into our second match at this year's PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters, and a cracking game on the cards between 2 very dynamic bowlers, both capable of big numbers. And the reward for winning this match, a place in the quarter-finals against PBA legend Chris Barnes. Cass, is that a reward?
Well, it is, because I suppose going out in round 2 could be better than going out in round 1. And here we see Osku-1, the young high roller from Finland, and as you may have already noticed, he's out of the Jason Belmonte school of 2-handed bowlers.
Yeah, I've been eager to see this guy in action. The reigning World Cup champion, just won a recent European Challenge tournament as well, picked up $21,000 there, so he's moving into the high roller category. 23 years of age, from Espoo in Finland, nickname of Ode, and his debut at this World 10-Pin Masters. But a lot of talk about this guy, and all the talk is positive. So Guy Kaminsky at the moment trying to talk Osku out of things. The man from South Africa in the yellow shirt, 29-year-old from Durban.
Button's a bit iffy.
Button's a bit iffy. Bit of technical information there from our tournament referee, Bernie White.
Niffy button now. I've not had one of those for a few years.
Now, Guy, ever present, he's been in this tournament, hasn't he, Cass? He's a regular and very welcome visitor to our shores, but has never been beyond the quarterfinals.
Yeah, had a first round win last year against Thomas Lee Anderson from Sweden, but to say, not the most successful player in the event. But, has been here probably, I think, 7 or 8 times out of our 10 years that the Masters has been going. great friend to the UK bowlers, and nice to see him here again.
Well, they call him Camo, but does Camo have the ammo to knock off Palermo? This is a really tough round for him. But if he gets going, if Kaminsky gets locked into the lane, he's every bit as powerful as the likes of Tim Mack, that we've seen competing here many times in the Masters competition. Bernie White then.
Shake hands, gentlemen. Wish you good luck, good bowling.
With his catchphrase now that has become so familiar to us. Good luck and good bowling, but tremendously respected by the players. It'll be Osku to get things underway. Just 23 years of age, but already has been talked about in terms of possible PBA status at somewhere down the line in his career. Something that Norwegian bowler Tore Torgersen, another familiar favourite here at the World Tenpin Masters, has tried. But it's all about the single lane format here in Barnsley. And what a start for the debutant.
Yes, it was all about the rotation on the ball, wasn't it? Fantastically high rev rate, I'm sure, on that ball. Now just watch this. And this is in slow motion. Rotation is unbelievable. When you hit that 1-3 pocket and those pins just stand absolutely no chance.
That is a blur. Now, I think the concern here is that Kaminsky doesn't get into a big throwing match, and that he concentrates on his own game, because he's capable of putting the revs on as well. Nice. So 2 great pocket hits to start off with. And if that hasn't whet your appetite for this match, then I don't know what will.
Well, you could see the contrast in the revolutions on both of those balls. Kaminsky's ball obviously not rotating as much as Osku's was, but it got in the pocket and still did the damage. It just goes to show that you don't need the really high rotating ball to knock those pins out. It's the accuracy that counts. Okay, so we're all level after frame 1.
Oh, right through the head pin from Palermo. It really does travel, doesn't it?
One of the problems with a very high hooking, high rotating ball, if it's not in the pocket, you could have a problem. And Osku Palermo has just shown us that out of the pocket, he's got a big problem. He's only taken 4 pins out there, and has to guess what the number of the pins are that's standing up.
Well, this isn't even really a spare effort here. He's got to pull flat out to try and make sure that he cleans up and doesn't leave this one open. Well, he went right across to the left-hand side of the lane to try and get as much hook on that as possible, but it's not enough. And after a fantastic start, Palermo leaves an open in the second frame, and he's left a big opening for the South African, Guy Kaminsky.
Yes, indeed. You certainly wouldn't have expected a frame like that from Osku. He's had his practice, he's got lined up on his first shot, ripped the rack, and then was all at sea with frame number 2. And had a mighty open frame. Then it's back on Kaminsky now to double up.
10 pin left, and I guess if one pin is going to be left more often than the others, it tends to be the 10.
Well, it is with the right-handers, yes. They, if they don't quite make the pocket flush, or they're just a little bit slow, a little bit light, that 10 pin stands up, the 6 pin jumps around it, lays flat in the gutter, doesn't take it out. So, hard spare ball, straight across the lane, and that's the way we like to see spares taken by the top professional players.
No open frames then for Kaminsky. Camo there, just kicking himself, because that's the golden rule. If your opponent leaves it open, you strike. Well, he looks in good shape to me. I think he's lost a few pounds cast from last year. He's put on a bit more muscle, and Camo bowling well, and he's going to have to against this young Finnish player. And Palermo, as you said, Cass, is all at sea at the moment on this lane after that cracking opening shot.
Did I say that? Well, let's see. He's left himself the 2 and the 8 pin sleeper, which is a tricky little spare. Again, out of the pocket with this high rotating ball, lots of hook, and it doesn't break the pins up. It leaves something awkward. So he's got to settle himself down now. Hopefully he can take these away, which he does very nicely.
And the trouble is, over just 2 games, there's not a lot of time to make adjustments, and if you do make an adjustment and it's wrong, you're finished.
Well, he certainly is Finnish. And, sorry. Kaminsky now working on a spare. Let's see the spare of Palermo covering the back pin there. That's the way to do it.
Kaminsky just positioning those fingers in the ball in that familiar pre-shot routine. Good pocket hit, but 10-pin left again.
No, that's okay. It's a 10-pin in the corner. He'll make that spare, no trouble. He was looking for the strike again. He was just probably a fraction light. Got a half pocket. Didn't quite bury it in there. Got the rotation on the ball. Just a fraction light. That's what a 10-pin standing. Hopefully take this one away, no trouble. Just extend his small lead. He's going to take the spare yet again.
Palermo pick his game up. Been desperate to see this young man bowl. Heard all about him from all the other Finnish bowlers that have come to this tournament over the years. They've been talking about him now for 3 or 4 years. That's how things stand so far. That's the maximum still available if they strike from here on. And if they do, that's great bowling. Palermo then to try and repair some of the damage. Super stuff. Nice strike. And there is such a rich history in Finland for bowlers of this calibre.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Treated as national heroes and top sportsmen. 10-pin bowlers in Finland, well, right through Scandinavia, as we're aware. But yeah, great looking shot there from Osku. His second strike of the game in frame number 4. But at the moment, it's Kaminsky, the man that's clean and staying clean.
Good work. This time he cleans out the 10-pin. That was the one that was giving him a few problems, the back right-hand pin as we look at the frame.
Yeah, nice shot up into the 1-3 pocket. A little bit soft compared to Osku. The shot of Guy is actually quite soft, but he's carried the pins out. He's looking quite relaxed there. Obviously wants to get just locked in, play his own game, and beat the lane. And if you can beat the lane, as I said, you should be able to beat your opponent. Osku, the two-hander, makes himself a double. That's much better.
Good work. 2 in a row then for Osku Palermo. And Kaminsky now will start to feel a bit of the pressure. He wants to turn this strike into a double if he can.
Yeah, small lead of 13 pins. As you say, Kaminsky looking for a double here. Buries those fingers deep into the ball, takes his time. Nice deep breath. Push away and away he goes. Nice deep knee bend. Looking for 10. Ooh, dear. We call that a bit of a flower power shot. A little bit high through the head pin, and they didn't mix up properly, but they all fell over. We'll have an interesting little look at this on the replay. The most important thing is a double for Kaminsky. So he holds the leads. Just inside on 15 ball, third arrow. And that's high on the head pin and trips the 4 and the 9 by the look of it. And that counts as 10. Great shot. He'll be very happy with that.
Palermo then looking for a turkey. Lists Norm Duke, one of Chris Barnes' contemporaries, as his favourite bowler of all time. But for a two-handed bowler, Cass, not a lot of people to look up to.
Apart from Jason.
Great work. So it is a turkey.
Yeah, Osku now just showing his form that we've seen. He's reigning World Cup champion. Incidentally shot 2 300 games in that tournament. Down in Caracas late last year. Came away with the men's title. At only 23 years of age, a great feat indeed.
Kaminsky then looking to equal Palermo with a turkey of his own. 3 strikes in a row. No, it's that troublesome 10-pin.
Yeah, he just hasn't quite got the power going into the pocket, has he? It's just a little bit flat compared to Osku's ball. It's like lightning striking.
He does seem very loose, very relaxed, Kaminsky. He definitely seems to be controlling how he's throwing the ball. And in previous years, Cass, We've seen Kaminsky just rip it every single time. He's very like Tim Mack in that respect, but he seems to be playing with control here.
Well, he knows he's up against a tough opponent in Palermo. Talk to himself there. Just needs to bring his A game a little bit more into focus. Be able to kick that 10-pin out.
So Palermo frames 2 and 3. We're just a bit shaky. An open frame in 2. And an 8 spare in 3. But now he's back online. And very much like Chris Barnes has just ridden the storm and made his changes. Yeah, he liked that. You heard him say before it hit, good.
Palermo 4 strikes in a row, and just takes the lead now. You see that unique style. Deep inside line, lots of rotation. Actually bowls with 2 fingers in the ball, but no thumb. So it's almost sort of a palm shot with those 2 hands.
There's his stats so far. Well, that 1 open frame will be nagging at him, but the 5 strikes have more than repaired it. Oh dear, Guy. Through the 3-pin. He seems to be losing pace and rotation, even this early on in the match.
I'm just wondering whether he's feeling the pressure. Anybody that comes up against Osku-1 is going to feel, well, he's a real high roller. He's got lots of strikes in him. And I just haven't quite managed to kick those 10 pins out. That's a big open frame. The 1, 2, 4 and the 10 pin. Needed to redirect his radar. Couldn't quite do it.
Each player has left an open then. But Kaminsky's happening in the latter part of this first game. That's going to cost him. 3 strikes, 3 spares was tidy enough. But that open has really let Palermo back in. Palermo then trying to turn 4 into a 5-bagger.
He's taking his time, adjusting his feet, making sure that left hand shoe slides nicely. And goes into action.
Demolishes it.
And what action, the 5-pack.
This is looking good now for the Finn.
Well, he's very much relaxed, isn't he? He's got on that strike line. He's got over the open frame, which he had in frame 2. He's settled himself down nicely.
And still on for that 5-5-6 that we saw earlier. It has been strikes all the way from Palermo. This time just a little high on the head pin from Kaminsky. He made the adjustment, didn't he, Cass, to get back from that 3-pin hit last time round?
That's right, yeah. Maybe just have overcompensated a little bit. Bit more reaction in the back end there, and took him high through the head pin. Single 9-pin standing on its own. Just straighten his shot out and slide this ball across the lane and hopefully take it away. Should be straightforward stuff.
Oh, just flirting with danger there, Kaminsky.
Yes, shiny ball, harder ball, and got to the outside of the lane and picked up some oil by the look of it. And that ball started to aquaplane a bit. Just turned up nicely in time. But flirting with trouble there he was.
Yeah, this is Kaminsky under pressure, I can tell you. Now Palermo on a terrific run, rather like Chris Barnes in match 1 of this year's tournament. He's building up a handy set of strikes here, and that is a 6-bagger for Osku Palermo.
Yeah, through the 9th frame, another perfect strike. Now he's settled down. His A game is with him. He knows he can beat this lane. And Guy is struggling, and Osku knows that.
And we can all see what all the fuss is about now, can't we? This man is a classic bowler, and Kaminsky's got his work cut out. Good effort, nice response in the foundation frame from the South African. So, it's tight, but Palermo is taking it out at the moment in this first game. Can he finish with a decent set of numbers here? 5-5-6 still on the cards as his maximum. Kaminsky's going to be hoping that he can't quite do that, and that Kaminsky can strike out to stay in touch.
Yes, a very useful 44-pin lead after 9 frames. Both working on strikes from frame number 9. Let's see who can utilise that and maximise their score.
Great effort, and this is looking very, very good indeed.
Well, Simon, you know the exciting thing, don't you?
The quarter-final? Palermo Barnes?
It could be,
let's
not say it just at the moment, but it could be Palermo Barnes, couldn't it, in the first of the quarter-finals? What a match that's going to be.
Don't want to talk Guy Kaminsky out of this one yet. He's a real fighter. He's the man from Durban.
Of course, if he does happen to lose, you know what he'll be after. He'll be coming up into the commentary booth and having a stint up here as he normally does.
He'll be wrestling that microphone away from you, Cass. You'll have to watch it.
Guy normally comes up into the commentary booth at least once every year that he's here, just to say a few words, and I'm sure he will do this year.
So, Osku-Palermo now totally locked into this lane. He's easily surpassed the 200 par. And he's on for a very tidy score here of potential 256 if he can just clean up here.
8 strikes in a row. Quite a contrast from that frame number 2 when he shot 4 with his first ball and 4 with his second ball. He's certainly made amends, looking for 9 and makes it. Dear, 256. Great bowling.
Great stuff. Well, he's equalled Chris Barnes' effort in the first match of this tournament. Barnes managed to nail 9 strikes in a row, but his were from one game to the next. Osku-Palermo has managed to do it all in one game. 256. What a marker.
Well, Guy obviously accepts that this first game is won, or lost in his case.
It's not what he wanted, though.
Absolutely not.
That's a stinker. Not quite the worst spare you can have, but it's not going to be easy.
2, 4, 8, 10. Likely to be another open frame. Ball just sailed on. He was probably trying too hard on this last frame, looking for something different to start game 2 with. And unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for him. Very much likely to be an open frame here.
Good effort, but didn't quite get the mix of the pins that he was looking for. And a very disappointing 180 is what Kaminsky will finish with. And a huge difference opening up. And just shows you the value of stringing those strikes together. And if you can do it, then you can build yourself a lead which the opponent is going to struggle to overcome. Well, that's how it looks at the end of that first game. 256 to Palermo, easily outclassing Guy Kaminsky.
Well, which of these players will make a strike for the quarterfinals? Join us after the break for more action at the partypoker.net World 10-Pin Masters. I'm Lisa Marie, and this is the partypoker.net World 10-Pin Masters. The best 16 players from around the globe are aiming at the pocket to try and spin into the quarterfinals. Let's get back to our commentary team.
Kaminsky then with, well, what we call in sport a mountain to climb. And he really does have, because his opponent from Finland, Osku-Palermo, the reigning World Cup champion, has got off to a terrific start. 256 in that first game against Kaminsky's 180, but a strike will at least do it. Now I think there's a bit of a murmur in the crowd, and I think, Cass, the murmur's all about a possible maximum, and he hasn't even bowled yet.
Well, Guy has, and he's got a strike, so he's on a 300 game. Guy actually changed his line and moved further to the right on the lane and got some great reaction in the back end. It didn't do him an awful lot of good because Osku struck as well. Now, how many in a row is that?
Is that 12?
It's 10 strikes in a row so far.
It's 10, right.
Finished with 9 on game number 1. Came in with the first one on game number 2. But they're all level after one frame. Unfortunately for Guy, it's an aggregate score over the 2 games, and he's 76 adrift, I'm afraid.
Well, we've seen worse turned round in this tournament, but as always, it's relied on brilliance from one, mistakes from the opponent, and Kaminsky needed to double up there.
Yeah, you saw the outside line that he was playing. Definitely played wider to the right-hand side of the lane. Got some good reaction in the back end, and got right up to the pocket, but unfortunately the angle that he went in at just left that nagging 10-pin again and you could see he wasn't very happy with that. Spares are no good at this stage of the game, I'm afraid. Not when you're up against a strike machine like Osku-1, World 10-pin bowling writers bowler of the year.
Yeah, that's an accolade that is taken very seriously by the bowlers. That's something that you can put on your CV.
Yeah, it's the bowling journalists around the world vote for their top man and lady player throughout the season, and they get an award at the end of the year. And as you say, it looks good on your CV.
Palermo then into double figures.